Hi, I am Elsie Bay and you are watching ESC Fan TV.
Hello everybody, ESC Fan TV here, myself and Gustaf back once again. And as you can see, we have the lovely Elsie Bay with us here. Hello Elsie, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So obviously you have just competed in MGP, well you did your demo on Saturday. How was that first and foremost?
It was really fun, absolutely. We've been working towards this for months now. In the beginning just keeping it a secret, and then last week when it was all out there. And yeah, just to finally be up there and perform for those 3 minutes was really great.
Amazing. And something I just wanted to ask quickly is, how did you land on the stage name Elsie Bay? Because obviously your birth name is Elsa. So how did you land on that for your stage name?
Okay, so before Elsie Bay, I was in a duo called Elsa and Amelia. So I was just going to stick with Elsa until I realized that, this Disney movie, Frozen, has a princess called Elsa. And I thought, okay, maybe I should have an artist name that if you Google it, it will actually come up. So yeah, I just wanted to have a different artist name. And I asked my mother, can you think of anything? And she said, oh, you must choose Elsie, because she wanted to name me that. But then she landed on Elsa because that was my great grandma's name. So I was like, okay, I can do Elsie. And then my management thought that maybe it would be a good idea to have a last name as well, because there are a lot of Norwegian female artists with just one name. So I just Google translated the last part of my last name. So I translated Vik to Bay on Google.
Never would have guessed that.
No. And it actually took me about 6 months to get there. So I had a lot of suggestions on this Google Doc, and it just, it took a while, but here we are.
That must be such a hard process, choosing your name, basically.
Yeah, and you just gotta, you have to be open-minded and just try to come up with all sorts of different names to try and see if that could fit and that could fit. So there's so many horrible suggestions in that Google Doc. I found it the other day and just looked at it and I'm like, oh my God. All of those suggestions, yeah. So I'm glad I landed on Elsie Bay.
That's awesome.
Amazing. So obviously something that got linked on Saturday, which I didn't know until Saturday night, was you actually wrote or co-wrote Witchwoods, which Emmy competed with last year. And that was a personal favourite of mine and Gustaf's last year. If anyone who watches ESC Fan TV, we championed that song to high heaven last year.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So how was it writing that song, and do you think that kind of pushed you to compete for yourself this year, because you were partly involved last year and Emmy did very well with that song, so that kind of spearhead you to go for yourself this year?
Absolutely. I last year was my first sort of meeting with the whole MGP scene as a songwriter. I was invited to one of the songwriting camps and I wrote Witchwoods, and I just thought it was a whole lot of fun watching Emmy perform and just meeting everybody and seeing the show and talking to all the fans, and it was really great. And I also lived with America last year. So we're good friends. So there was a lot of MGP happening for me last year and I loved it. So this year I was like, okay, I have to try and write another song for this show. And luckily I was re-invited to the camps and I wrote Death of Us, and they asked me if I wanted to do it as an artist. And I said yes.
Amazing. So when did you firstly get told that you had made it into MGP? And also when were you told that you were firstly not just competing, but a direct finalist for the show as well? Because I'm sure that was something quite special to be told. Yeah,
absolutely. I don't actually remember when I was asked to do it, but I remember when I was told that I was going to perform in the first semi and that I was pre-qualified. That was early mid-November. I was in Malmö on a writing camp, actually with the same writers as I wrote Death of Us with. So when I had the Zoom call with Stig, who's the boss of MGP, and he told me this, I was together with the songwriters and I was also together with their publishers. So we were kind of all just celebrating together that we were pre-qualified for the final.
That's such an amazing story. first of all, I have to say that I absolutely love Death of Us. It's such an amazing song.
Thank you so much.
Basically, all of my friends in ESC Fan TV texted me and said, well, you should listen to this Norwegian song because it's right up your alley. And they were right.
Thank you.
So tell us more about Death of Us and what it means to you. A little bit behind the writing, maybe.
Yeah, so I had actually been sick right before this writing camp. So it was going to last for 3 days, and I didn't get my negative COVID test until the evening of the first day. And I was like, hold on, if I just take the train tomorrow morning, I can be there like 2 hours late to the second day and just write for the second and the third day. And immediately after I'd had that thought, I was like, I have to do that. I have to do that. I can't miss out on this chance. So I went there and I was 2 hours late, and that was the session for Death of Us. So Andreas and Jonas had already started just looking at references, coming up with some melodies. And I just came in and quickly kind of just took the role of writing the lyrics. And I didn't know what to write about. So I just went through my old notes and found all these little lines that I've been collecting over the last few years, stuff on my mind that I haven't found a place for yet, and just kind of just squeezed it all into to fit my mood and what I was going through at the time.
That's great. I love that you're talking about the lyrics of the song, because that's part of my favorite part of the song.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it, and it's great to hear that you wrote them yourself.
Thank you. Well, I have to say, Andreas came up with the title. I had actually written, do you know in the chorus when I say the two of us? I'd actually written that on the end as well. There's no coming back from the two of us. And he was like, what about the death of us? And I was like, oh yeah, let's do it.
Let's be dramatic.
Yes. I think it fits the concept of like MGP and everything to just be a little bit dramatic.
So when we are talking staging, are you going to keep it the way you have it now, or do you want to try something else for the final?
I think we're definitely going to make some changes, but we are still very early on talking about that. You know, it's only been a couple of days, and so we have some meetings set up just to talk about how to move forward from now. Yeah.
And you're obviously one of the big fan favorites of this year's MGP. How do you feel about that? I'm,
first of all, very, very grateful. That means people love my song, which is amazing and probably the most important to me. And it also means that maybe, just maybe, I actually have a chance at representing Norway in Eurovision. You know, it all comes down to the votes on the day, but being the favorite now, it feels like, okay, maybe I have a shot. Maybe I actually have a shot.
Amazing. So as I said, you were the first of the pre-qualifiers, so you've now got about a month until you need to compete for yourself. Are you happy that you just knew, you've got your demo out the way, you sang it live, and you can now just have a month to work? Are you happy that you were the first one of the pre-qualifiers to showcase your song, because then you can just work now for the final?
Absolutely. I think it was kind of good for me personally to get that first performance kind of out of the way and just like, okay, that's what it felt like. That's what it's going to be like-ish in the grand final. Now I know that. Now I can work on improving myself from Saturday up until next time. So definitely, yeah.
And where does the inspiration of Death of Us come from? Because obviously it's a very dramatic song. It's got some very dramatic, it's a lovely lyrics, spitting anger from your lungs, there's no comeback from the death of us. It seems like a very raw, real, story of yourself. So where was the inspiration for that song? And, how did you land on, what made you go, no, this is what I want to send for Norway?
Well, it just kind of happened. I think that's what it's like for me. When I write music, I know a lot of people they plan what to write about when they come to a session, and I usually just write what feels, what I want to that day, because I feel like that's usually when I get the best result, when I'm just like completely honest about how I feel and just go with that. So that changes from day to day, and apparently I was feeling very dramatic that day. So.
And a lot of people are commenting on your very unique singing voice. Well, like it's very soft and it's very sort of like almost like dreamlike. And I referenced in our last show that it was almost similar to almost a mixture of America and Aurora, your singing style. So how did you find that singing style when you were learning to sing?
I think it really just is my natural voice. I've never tried to sound like anything. Well, I did try to sound like something when I demoed Witchwoods, but yeah, no, it's just my voice, really. But thank you for liking it.
And do you have a favorite lyric in the song? Do you have a personal favorite lyric?
I think maybe, well, a lot of favorites, but maybe Now I Can't Listen to Your Heartbeat because I'm afraid it'll stop, because I just have a really, I have a memory of having that feeling for real.
So Eurovision. I guess that you would like to go there.
Absolutely. You have no idea how much I want that. That would be beyond. Yeah.
What's your favorite Eurovision song?
I think it has to be Fairy Tale. By Alexander Rybak.
Of course.
Yeah, it has to be, because it's a great song. It's a great song, but the whole experience, being Norwegian, being 13 when he won, is like, yeah, it gives it a little extra.
Yeah, I have the same experience with Euphoria a couple of years later. So
yeah, I
totally get it.
Also one of my favorites, actually.
And just speaking of MGP and obviously the final, this is the first time we've had all the songs released at the same time. So do you have any taking yourself out of the competition, do you have any personal favourites that are competing this year?
Well, I like a lot of the songs, really. Yeah. I have been, talking a lot positive about Alina's song, Ecstasy. I like that one. And she's also an incredible vocalist. I like Sturla's song, the Norwegian one. I like North Kid's song, Farida's song. Yeah, so many great songs here. So I keep listening to all of them, really.
And it's such a diverse competition this year, and so it's a very strong competition. So how would it feel if on the 19th of February you are announced as the winner of MGP and you are going to represent Norway in Turin? How would that feel?
Surreal, I think. Absolutely. I do think so. I don't think that I will be able to understand that message right there and then and what that means. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't know what it means. I've never done it before. So yeah, surreal, absolutely.
What do you want to say to your fans and to the people watching this video?
Hi everyone. I hope that you are enjoying my song. I hope that you will be watching MGP on the 19th of February and also all of the heats before that. I hope you are enjoying yourselves. If you like my song, I would really, really appreciate your vote, because I would so much love to go to Eurovision. And have a great day and life and be happy and be kind to people. And
Well, Elsie, that's everything we have for you today. So thank you so much for giving up the time to speak to us. We really, really appreciate it. And that, everyone, is Elsie Bay. And as she said, if you want her to go to Eurovision, make sure you vote for on the 19th of February with her song, The Death of Us. Thank you so much, Elsie, and good luck in the final. We will be rooting for you all the way.
thank you so much. And thank you guys so much for having me. It was a pleasure.